In this video, we're going to give you the breaking news of the ceasefire between Russia and the United States when it comes to Syria, and important developments of how this situation is getting completely out of hand. Now, as soon as the ceasefire was announced inside of Syria, it was immediately broken. And according to a Saudi Arabian-backed group inside of Syria, it was broken by Hezbollah, by the Syrian government, and Russia 15 times. The Russians are saying that no, it was actually jihadists who broke the ceasefire 9 times in total, and they just fired back. Now in the West, you have the international community saying that the Russians are bombing moderate rebels. But if we look at the first rebel group that has fired the shots, it is the Livra al-Sotran Mored group that has violated the ceasefire, and they are linked and have an alliance with al-Nusra, the Al-Qaeda branch inside of Syria. Now, even the Huffington Post is reporting that it's not ISIS that could ruin the ceasefire, but it's actually these other moderate rebel groups that are in alliance with ISIS, with al-Nusra, with all these radical Islamists who are fighting together to get rid of Bashar al-Assad. The situation inside of Syria with all these rebel groups is insane, where right now we have CIA-backed rebel groups who are fighting Pentagon-backed rebel groups in the region. This situation is completely out of hand. The United States has sent arms, has sent weapons, has sent money, has sent intelligence, has sent cars down into Syria to get rid of Bashar al-Assad, and everyone is just fighting to get rid of Bashar al-Assad, and there really is no moderate rebel groups, only mercenaries and radical Islamic terrorists who want to get rid of Bashar al-Assad, with Hezbollah and Russia standing in their way. Now, of course, the mainstream media is reporting that the ceasefire is holding, even though there is still hostilities in the region. But if you look at what's happening behind the scenes, you see a completely different picture. Right now, as we're speaking, the United States has just sold Turkey $680 million worth of bunker buster bombs. And as we know, Turkey has been taking the weapons that the United States has been selling them and has been giving them to the rebel groups. And that's why rebel groups inside of Syria, like ISIS and al-Nusra, have US-made weapons and are fighting against the Russians with US-backed weapons. Turkey, with the ceasefire announced, said no, we're going to keep arming these rebel groups as the United States keeps giving them more weapons. And as we know, tensions between Russia and Turkey have been extremely high, especially since Turkey decided to shoot down 2 Russian aircraft over the Turkish-Syrian border. And now Turkey is arming all of their troops along the border, sending in all of their tanks, with Russia answering back, saying that this is a clear provocation of war that will violate the ceasefire. Russia is not backing down from this threat at all. They are calling it out on the global stage, and they're also testing new weapons. Now, before Russia got involved inside of Syria, a large portion of the military community believed that the Russian military was prehistoric, was out of date. But with Putin showing his military might, he is surprising the international military community, showing the true capabilities that Russia has that is surprising the West. Russia is also answering back by doing more military drills in the Indian Ocean with over 30 countries, and they're also rearming themselves, and they are 50% ahead of their scheduled plan to rearm themselves, obviously not believing in this truce, not believing that there will be peace inside of Syria, but believing that there will be more war, which of course the United States is also planning for by sending in over 5,000 tons of ammunition to Putin's doorsteps inside of Europe, spending over $3 billion on an arms buildup to combat Russia in a potential clash between these 2 super world powers. And obviously Putin answers back the best way he can by putting a nail in the petrodollar. Obviously, people need to understand the main reason the United States is so powerful around the world is because many countries sell and trade oil with dollars. Once countries decide not to do that, the United States will not have its might as it has right now. Putin knows that, and that's why he just made a deal with India to trade in national currencies and not in the dollar. Again, putting another nail in the coffin in the petrodollar. And if this couldn't get any crazier, right now, as we're talking, an ISIS suspect was released from custody in the UK because the courts said that they were too busy. Now, this is insane. Like, I've been reporting on this for an extremely long time. Just the very facts that I brought to you alone are mind-boggling, and I don't understand why they're happening. Well, I kind of do. But if you're watching this video for the very first time, if you're watching our channel, all the sources will be in the description below so you can fact check all this insane news for yourself. If you're in the know, share this video with your friends, with your family members, because the mainstream media wants to keep you dumb, deaf, and blind, and not want you to see the real picture of what's actually happening in this world. But you will get it here because you're watching real independent media that's supported and funded by you. Thank you again so much for watching. $1 on Patreon means the world to us, and with your support, we could do anything. Thank you again so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. We're going to have a lot more videos coming here your way on youtube.com/We Are Change.